class, and I remember you were sitting up here when you got hired. I remember you were wearing a suit and tie, at your introductory presser, and you talked about, hey, I'm going to recruit high schools because Arkansas is a different kind of job. Stay with a lot of good high school players. Is this like better than you ever could have imagined from a high school perspective?
I thought that the class with Moses and Jalen, Devo, and KK, I thought that was a phenomenal class. Didn't know if we would be able to get 4 guys of that quality in the same class. Thought maybe 2 or 3, but to have this class of the group of guys, talent-wise and also people, and then to have them sign. I think if we go back in time, Devo was really the only one that signed early. But what this does is it allows us to have a more in-depth relationship with the players. There's a limit to only see the guys 7 times if they're not signed, and we were about up on a couple of them. And so this changes. We can see their games, we can talk about them, we can. So I think it's important moving forward for both the player and for us that it's more than just a verbal commit, because like I said, there's things that pertaining to the rules that we're now able to do some more things with, meaning watch them unlimited and they can come on campus during dead period. There's just a lot of little things that people don't realize, and then being able to promote them on our website and talk about them. All those things are really important.
I think ESPN's got, we'll see how it plays out, obviously, but they've got you guys number 3 behind Duke and Kentucky, I think it is. Pretty good company to be in. Just how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that, as a college coach, it's graduating your players, getting them ready for the real world. It's winning, it's attendance, and it's recruiting. You kind of got those 5 pillars that all of us, are striving for, and it's great company to be in. It's hard to be in the top 10, let alone in the top, 3 or 4 or whatever. And then I think the big thing is you want those players, when their time is up, that they've developed properly and go on to have great careers. But I'm ecstatic. It's, with each of them, we've talked about, some of the guys and then the guys that just signed. Nick is a special player. When he was as good as any player at the highest level of AA. I don't think there was anybody really, at the guard spot. I don't think I saw anybody even close to him at times. Confident-wise, being able to, go from an off guard to a point guard. And then Jordan just, incredibly exciting to watch. Jordan play is electric. He can play a lot of different positions. And Darian's a guy that's so strong, so explosive. So I think that each guy that we have now in this class possesses, something special and makes him unique to our system.
Coach, with those 2 guys that just signed, and Nick and Darian, what were some of the things that stood out throughout the process, and then just the importance of keeping them, and obviously Joseph, that kind of talent in state, keeping them home?
Yeah, I think that each recruit, they got their own little story, your own little relationship. Darian was the relationship with Darian and his parents was pretty consistent throughout the whole thing. The relationship with Nick is really unique. He was kind of quiet, but as soon as he came on that visit, like this, our relationship just completely, changed in a positive way. Where the comfort level of he and I talking and his conversations with the staff. It's I don't know if I've ever seen like a relationship go in such a quick, positive way. because sometimes it's conversations when you're recruiting. Some of them are great. Some of them are a little more, you're trying to pull things out of. I mean, talking to Nick right now is like as comfortable as I could be talking to anybody. Same with Jordan, all of them really. But like those two guys, it's pretty easy flowing conversations, as is with Barry and Darian and Joseph and all the guys. But yeah, I think to keep the 3 in-state guys really important. All 3 talented. All 3 bring a different dimension. But just like they're all 3 from in-state, but all the guys are important. You know what I mean? All 5 of them have significant importance to us.
Just what kind of room do you have left for the transfer portal after signing these guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that with all of us, last year at this time, I had no idea that Moses was going to be a one and done. I mean, certainly when he committed and signed, we thought that was a possibility. But 2 games in, I don't know if that was a possibility. He wasn't on many mock drafts, and he was for the following year. But he had a great year. It was an easy decision. It was a great decision. And so a scholarship opened. Players transfer out. I mean, it's not just at Arkansas, at other places. So what the total roster looks like next year, I don't know, just like everybody in the SEC doesn't know what their roster is going to look like. I mean, you look at all the SEC guys that transferred and went to other SEC schools. I'm sure those coaches at that time, this exact time last year, had no idea that they were going to be playing somebody twice in their own league. So I have no idea what the roster will look like, Nate, because I don't think anybody does in any sport right now, especially in men's basketball. So that's just a truthful answer. I don't know what. We'll have transfers, I'm sure.
Obviously, there's a transition period from high school to college basketball, and it's a little bit different probably for everyone, but I guess something that stands out about Darian, we've all seen, his bench press videos on Twitter. From a physical standpoint, he looks like he's ready. How important is that for an incoming freshman?
Yeah, I think it's, Moses was ready because of his length and his basketball IQ. Darian physically has a body of a college player. I mean, I can tell you right now, like Jordan, if he walked into any SEC school, he's as athletic as anybody in college basketball. And Nick is as smart as any player I've ever seen. He's really similar to like a guy like Moses from an IQ standpoint, but even plays a different, position. And he can score the ball right out of the gate. And Barry Dunning's a really great passer, and Joseph's a guy that getting reps now, being fully healthy, is going to be really important for him this year. He's obviously playing without the knee brace, which I think is going to be really important, that he gets a full season, feeling comfortable without having that brace on. So I think each of the guys, bring a dimension that's going to be impactful.
Coach, I'm curious if you remember specifically the moment where things clicked between you guys' staff and with Nick, and when you thought maybe things were trending the right way.
I think as soon as, when we got on campus after the first day, I felt really, like good. We hadn't had a chance to, he came really, really early on when I kind of got the job early on, and then with COVID wasn't able to. But I thought with Nick, certainly after that first day, his dad, throughout the whole process, I thought his dad was really open communication-wise. And then with Candace's mom, I hadn't really had much conversation with her until they were on campus, and she was really, really, really easy to have a connection with. I think from a comfortable standpoint, it's been really cool, Scotty, to see how quickly, and it's not just me, I think it's, the assistant coaches feel the same way about the connection and the camaraderie of talking and being around them.
When you got the job, did you know that the state of Arkansas had such a surplus of talent, high school talent, or when did you realize that it could be a major source for y'all?
Well, the minute Hunter called, it was important for me to do as much research as I could. And I mean, I'm a basketball historian, and at the age where, I mean, I know where Marvin's from, I know where Sydney's from, so it's to me, I knew, that Ron Brewer, I knew all three of those guys, were from here, and it's not every year, you know what I mean? I've only been here, 3 years, and it's been really impactful 2 years and not very impactful 1 year at all. So and I've done enough history to see that, there's going to be some peaks and valleys with classes, which is great because it kind of times everything up perfectly, to be honest with you. Like, we're pretty stoked that it was, Moses' class, then it kind of peaked, and now we got another group. So to me, it's awesome, So yeah, I mean, I knew that, and that I think that's why people recognize that this is a really good basketball job.
Well, a two-parter, if that's okay. 5 guys, so basketball. Could you envision putting these guys on the court together? I mean, do they sort of have a skill set that, you could put them on the court together and they'd be a pretty good team? And then also, like say, 2 years ago when you're sitting up here and talking about, hey, I'm going to get transfers, I'm going to sign high school kids too, because Arkansas is a different animal than other places. Could you have imagined signing a class this good by your 3rd year?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think that we were hopeful, to recruit, in the top 20 in the country. I mean, that was, and then have a couple years in the first 4 years to be in the top 10 or something around those. But look, I mean, we ended last year starting 3 freshmen, which is a lot on a good team. It's not a lot if you're an average team. Anybody can start 2 or 3 freshmen if you're a 500 team. But when you make an Elite 8 with those guys, and then, I think that, we have a good team this year. We had a good team last year. No one knows how this year will unfold because every game's hard and every season takes on its own. But there's reason for great excitement for next year too, which is a good thing. But yeah, I mean, we wanted to recruit at a high level, Bob. I don't think anybody really knows at all until, you dive into the thing. And Moses was great for a lot of the staff members that were at Nevada. Moses was really good for us to see a one-and-done player who's a lottery pick and how he can impact the team and how a freshman can lead you to an Elite 8 and be the leading scorer. It was good for me at my age to coach a guy like Moses. Like, we got to go get more guys like that, and that's why this class is what it is, because we understand the significance. And also, transfers, quite frankly, are being completely over-recruited right now. There's a lot of mistakes in the transfer market, a lot. And it wasn't that way 4 years ago, but now a lot of Power 5s are going after transfers that probably aren't Power 5 players, to be completely honest. And so the high school market, and we made a conscious effort a year ago that let everybody else go chase the transfers and let's try to get involved in some of these high school guys. And I'm happy that we did it that way, to be honest.
These 5 go get on the court together and be pretty effective?
If we want to play small ball, I mean, I think that, Jalen Williams was a center with that group. I don't think that those 5 guys there's anybody that's really a center. Barry can play power forward. I guess if he played small ball, we could throw him out there. But yeah, I think there's 5 of them, so I think at some point we'd like to play them together a little bit.
We'll move on to Northern Iowa.
Coach, I guess Northern Iowa took a couple losses out of the gates, but I think coming into the season, everybody thought they were going to be pretty good. What have you seen from them and the challenges they pose coming in here Wednesday?
Very well coached. They cut extremely hard. They're an NCAA tournament caliber team. We got 2 neutral site games coming up after this. I hope we have a good crowd. We need a good crowd. They have a conference player of the year type talent in Green. They have a center, number 50, who, in my opinion, is as good a passer as I've seen. They run offense through him. He can score the ball as well. They're one of the most oldest veteran teams that we will play all season long. They're smart. They cut hard. They cut from the corners hard. They run a lot of elbow DHO actions, dribble handoffs. We're going to have to guard that. They'll run pick and rolls with Green handling the ball a little bit. They were banged up injury-wise their first 2 games. They're now back healthy. And, Bourne, their starting point, he didn't play the first 2 games, and now he's back. So we better bring our A game, or this is a very good and dangerous Northern Iowa team.
With Green, obviously, he's coming off of a hip surgery, but to still be named the preseason conference player of the year, what does that say about him, and what stands out about him as a player?
Great scorer, crafty, can score it off the bounce, can shoot threes, comes off hard off dribble handoffs, and then they got guys cutting from the corners. Their DHO action, because their number 50 is so good at finding people. They look like they have a 0.5 type rule where they can only hold the ball for a short amount of time, and then they spit it around to each other. They like to play east-west and get the game going side to side. I thought last night, I watched the game, they played with really good pace. They're opportunistic runners. They'll kick ahead a little bit with the ball to get out in transition. A lot of good pieces. I mean, even their power forward. There's not a lot of guys. Noah Carter made 9 threes last year, their very first game against Western Kentucky. I've coached some really good shooters. I've never had a guy make 9 threes in a game. None. So guys that are in the NBA right now that are known as shooters did not make 9 threes in a game. So, and he doesn't even start all the time, Carter. So a lot of problematic matchups that we're going to have to try to figure out. Because Carter at the 4, like I said, he doesn't always start there, and 50 at the 5 spot, and Green, and then you got 2 point guards that are really, really smart, crafty, and willing passers.
Bob, one final
Yeah.
question, you gotta get to practice.
Okay, so it sounds like, that they're a different team than the one that lost the first 2 with having more guys, hands on deck. Would that be a fair statement?
Yeah, I would say for sure that's more than a fair statement. They're really good. They are. I mean, just like last year with the Abilene Christians and Oral Roberts, we'll see how this all unfolds. This team's really good. And, we scheduled them because we thought they were a team that could win their conference. Obviously, they got some other good schools in their conference, but that's what we think of them. I think their coach is one of the best coaches in the country, and they're really good. Go ahead, Nate.
About Vanover, did he get a start after the last game?
Yeah, I'm not going to ever, as long as I'm coaching here, say who's going to start and not start unless I come out and tell you guys that, hey, this is what we're doing, because we just got done, Nate, talking about matchups and how we want to. So I'm not just Connor. I mean, I said Jalen was going to start. Jalen's going to start again. I just don't know what we'll do matchup-wise, and we're going to, we didn't practice yesterday. We'll practice today. We'll have 2 units out there, see which people handle their dribble handoffs and their offensive space, and then try to figure out, what we want to do to play a little bit better than we have out of the gate.
We're back and better than ever. A new web interface to start the basketball season and more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline remains your #1 spot for all basketball and football action this season. Head to the new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your bonus. That's BLEAV50 to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, and baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts.